Hello everybody, Script here with another video. Horrific Star Wars theory reveals the real reason Jedi are being targeted in the Acolyte. Oh boy. A chilling Star Wars theory explains why the Jedi are being hunted down and killed in Star Wars The Acolyte, as the first live-action series set during the High Republic era, an era of Star Wars timeline set a few centuries before the events of the Star Wars prequel trilogy. Well, they've kind of jumped around here. Initially, they said it was hundreds of years, and they said it was 200 years, and then Leslie Headland came out and said it was 100 years, so they're kind of all over the place with that. Maybe they're leaving it open-ended because there's going to be problems that they haven't foreseen. But anyways, the Acolyte can reveal much about the history of the Jedi, the presence of the Sith during that time, and the Sith's mysterious customs. Most importantly, it can reveal how and why the Jedi failed to detect the Sith's presence for so long, a fatal mistake that eventually led to the downfall of the Order. And, you know, when they described this show as sort of setting up what happened in the prequels, for me, all they're doing there is just pulling more of the dynamic away from Palpatine. I always thought of it as Palpatine was just this crazy, cunning, amazing villain, and if they make it so they make it easier for him to do what he did with what happens in this show, that's kind of going to suck. It's just going to diminish his character, which kind of is what they do, right? They diminish all the original trilogy characters and prequel trilogy characters as well now. That's kind of their thing. So it's revealed in the trailer that the Jedi are being hunted and that at least one Jedi was murdered. It has also previously been revealed that much of the Acolyte's story will focus on the perspective of the Sith and the dark side, providing an opportunity to truly explore how the Sith operate. Aside from the primary role of two, very little is known about the Sith, but this all-important creed may just be the key to unraveling the mystery of why the Jedi are being hunted and murdered during this era. I don't know how they could be, quite frankly. If the High Republic is supposed to be the Jedi at their peak, then how would they be getting murdered? I mean, really? I don't know. To me, if somebody's running around with a switchblade, which is what you see in the trailers, running around stabbing people, like, at what point are they just going to trap that person and deal with them, right? Like, or is this going to be another one of these ones where the Jedi are just super dumb, right? Because what tends to happen with some of these writers is that the only way that the villains can have an actual impact is by the good side or the protagonist side being stupid. And you see that with the New Republic. They're completely inept, completely dumb. Everyone's a moron. Nobody believes people when they're telling them what's going on. Is that what we're doing again? Because if we're doing that again, it's just going to be boring and lame. Sith have secretly hunted Jedi for 1,000 years. 1,000 years before the High Republic, after the Sith-Jedi War, it was decreed that the Sith would abide by the rule of two. This rule stated there could only ever be two true Sith lords in the galaxy at a time, a master and an apprentice. The apprentice would usually one day surpass their master. However, a master could equally betray their apprentice if they found someone that they believed had more potential, as Darth Sidious did with Maul, Count Dooku, and Darth Vader. With only two true Sith operating at a time, it was easier to remain hidden from the watchful eyes of the Jedi. Now, having said that, as far as I'm remembering, Dooku was already under Sidious in The Phantom Menace, so the rule of two was not being adhered to by Palpatine. To become a Sith apprentice, a Sith acolyte, a devoted follower of the Sith, could prove their worth by killing a Jedi, taking their lightsaber, and bleeding the Jedi's kyber crystal. By the way, that I've done videos on that. That is the corniest. Turning the kyber crystals into like living creatures that bleed and like cry out in pain is the corniest, lamest thing. Like, lame. And now they're, you know, there's rumors they're gonna have them changing colors based on whether somebody's like a good or bad, or like red if they're Sith, and then like a color of the Jedi, and then like the color like comes out based on your relationship with your lightsaber. Like, they've gone from like a cool weapon to just comically stupid now. This was a vital rite of passage for any hopeful Sith acolyte who wanted to become an official Sith apprentice, as the Sith never truly disappeared but simply remained hidden in the shadows. It can be surmised that the Jedi had secretly been hunted by Sith acolytes for thousands of years, but because of their small number, the connection between the killings and the perpetrators was never discovered until now. If that is true, that is dumb. That is dumb. The Jedi are stupid. You're telling me for 1,000 years they couldn't figure out that who was murdering them? I don't know, man. That sounds stupid. Could this be the competition between Sith acolytes? Clearly the Acolyte. The Jedi have noticed something is amiss. Now that they're officially investigating why the Jedi are being hunted, they might find that there are more Sith acolytes in the galaxy than they ever previously thought. It's entirely possible that a previous Sith apprentice has just ascended to the rank of master and is looking to take on an apprentice of their own, or a Sith master has betrayed their former apprentices and looking to take on someone new. This whole thing about like these labels is also getting ridiculous. Like, Kylo Ren wasn't a Sith, according to Disney. Except his master was trained by a Sith. Everything they do is Sith-like. The way they use the Force is Sith-like. And they're antagonists that basically... So, it's like saying you believe and you do everything exactly like a Sith does. Oh, but I'm not a Sith. Well, aren't you, though? No, because I didn't say I was. Like, that's retarded. Like, if you're a thief, you're a thief. If you steal things, you're a thief. If you act exactly like a Sith, you're a Sith. It doesn't matter whether or not you personally like that title. So this whole idea that there's like all these acolytes running around trying to become the next apprentice or whatever, they're just Sith. They think and do exactly what the Sith do. Whether or not they have the title, that is so corny, and there's no depth to it. It basically means you can write anything, right? Because you don't actually have to have anything backing up the title. It's just, you're given the title because I said you are. That's stupid, and that's weak writing. Whatever the circumstance may be, the current Sith Master may have told their acolytes to prove their worthiness to them. There may be multiple Sith acolytes hunting down Jedi at the tail end of the High Republic era, hoping to become the next Sith apprentice. The more acolytes there are, the more Jedi are being targeted, which may be why the Jedi have started taking note of the issue. The Jedi may very well be embroiled in a horrifyingly twisted competition as hopeful dark side wielders try to prove they are worthy of being Sith Lord. And again, this is the same thing as the Inquisitors. The Inquisitors are exactly like Sith in every way, but they're not Sith, because the rule of two. What is with this obsession with the stupid rule of two? Like, why would an evil guy adhere to any particular rule necessarily? Like, why wouldn't he just do what he wants? I never understood that. I thought the whole rule of two thing has always been stupid. And if you're basing it off of that, then you can't have all these acolytes running around, because they are Sith. That's what they are. They do everything that Sith do. Then you enter this zone where you've got all these Inquisitors, all these acolytes, and now you have to make it about, it's the title that they're given. It has nothing to do with how they behave and act and think. Even though that's exactly what Sith do. It's just a title that they give themselves. So they're not Sith, even though they are Sith and they do everything like Sith, but they're not Sith because they didn't give themselves the title. Or this Gimp guy in the Gimp mask didn't give them the title. It's stupid. I'm telling you, Rebels, Clone Wars, anything Dave Filoni was involved with has just muddied the waters of all these things so badly. Thus far, the official trailer for The Acolyte seems to suggest 2 characters affiliated with the Sith are hunting the Jedi. Though there may very well be more. The character Amanda Stenberg is a former Jedi apprentice. In the trailer, she is fighting with numerous Jedi, though it's left ambiguous whether she's actually a Sith acolyte or something else entirely. Her official character description on StarWars.com reads, may get swept up into a sinister mystery, one that puts her into the center of a conflict in unexpected ways. Will she find herself part of the competition, or is something else going on? I took it as they're twins. Her sister goes bad and she's good, and she plays both of them. That's my take, and the poster kind of shows that, but could be wrong. At the end of the trailer, a figure wielding a red lightsaber in the Gimp mask is revealed. This figure engages in combat with numerous Jedi, suggesting that they are already quite powerful, or at the very least feel they are powerful enough to take on multiple Jedi at once, which again, that doesn't make any sense. Really. And if the Jedi can't handle this one guy, when literally in the trailer there's like 10 of them, then they're just going to make the Jedi bums to try and, because they can't write a good villain, right? Palpatine was so well written because of how manipulative and sinister and stuff that he was. And if you're going to have 10 Jedi against this Gimp, who to me probably isn't as powerful as Palpatine, and then he mops the floor with them, that's not going to look good. Is this the new Sith Lord, or are they one of the Sith Acolytes? One shot in the trailer suggests that May meets this figure near the sea. So it could go either way. Perhaps May is trying to size up her competition, or perhaps she's working undercover to discover the truth about what is happening to the Jedi. That would be kind of cool. The show may be hiding more Sith Acolytes too, as the synopsis suggests that the hunting and killing of Jedi is becoming suspiciously widespread. In fact, Star Wars has officially labeled it as a shocking crime spree. If that many Jedi are being hunted and killed, it stands to reason that there may even be more than a handful of Sith Acolytes waiting to strike down their claim as a Sith Lord, or take their claim as a Sith Lord, and tell Star Wars Acolyte. So again, we're running into this problem, right, where they're not actually Sith, they're Acolytes, because we just decided to do that, because we have to adhere to this stupid rule of 2 that we don't have to adhere to, but we're doing it anyway. Oh, they're not actually Sith, they're Inquisitors, because we don't want to not have the rule of 2, even though you don't have to adhere to that. And even though literally all of these people are doing exactly what Sith do. We know that The character with the daggers uses the Force. She's flicking the daggers around with the Force, picking them up, doing all these things. She's obviously very adept. No, she's an Acolyte, because we didn't say she's a Sith yet, because it's the label. And again, all this stems from Dave Filoni and having Inquisitors, and then thinking that, oh no, rule of two, blah, blah, blah. Why they went down that road, I'll never know. It's super dumb. But, I mean, if this is the case, it's going to basically be exactly what I figured, which is they're just going to make the Jedi idiots, like the New Republic is, so that they can justify how easily that there's an enemy that's super, super powerful, like the First Order or whatever, because the good guys have to be inept. That's how these writers write. They don't know how to write a compelling villain without making the good guys inept, which is really sad because, again, the whole basis of Star Wars, what made it so cool was the fact that Palpatine was just such a crazy, awesome villain, and the good guys didn't need to be inept for him to be awesome. Now, they're going down that road. The Clone Wars did that. They're trying to say, oh, the Jedi were stupid. That's why Palpatine rose to power, because the Jedi were bad. And it's like, dude, 1,000 generations, according to Obi-Wan in A New Hope, but say 1,000 years, fine, you guys want to change that too, of peace. That's how stupid the Jedi were. There was 1,000 years of peace. So one guy comes along, now the Jedi are morons, because that's the only way he could have done it, is if the Jedi were morons. So I feel like they're going to make the Jedi morons, and it's going to diminish Palpatine, because he's going to be walking into a place of all these morons that don't know what's going on and are stupid, rather than what the original thought process was, which was he's just such a crazy manipulative guy that it made him just an awesome villain. But they don't know how to do that. Yeah, I mean, I think it's guaranteed they're going to make the Jedi stupid in this. That's all they know how to do, just like the New Republic, like I said. So I'm repeating myself. Anyways, you guys let me know in the comment section what you think. If you like this content, please like, subscribe, always helps the channel. Check out anything else on my channel, and have yourselves a really good day.